Attention, brave viewers. This video features adults immersed in a spine-chilling horror RPG experience. The content likely includes supernatural elements, horror-related events, and potentially scenes of violence. Viewer discretion is advised. Enjoy.
Howdy, friends and floorheads. Boy, have I been looking forward to this. We have got some all-stars, familiar faces, except for one. Jason's been on the podcast twice now, I think, Jason. This is the first time actually playing and running the game. This is Trophy Dark. It's a game I have been dying to play and run on this channel. And Jason made the huge mistake of going, Craig, I'll run it for you. So, Jason, the mic's yours.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for having me. I'm very excited. I would like to kick off by doing what's called CATS, which is an acronym that stands for Concept, Aim, Tone, and Subject Matter. And I like to do this to establish some basic expectations for what we're going to be doing both today and next week when we continue the series. So the concept of Trophy Dark. Trophy Dark is a fantasy horror game about a group of doomed treasure hunters that are going into a place, usually a forest, that does not want them there. They are trying to get to the heart of this place in order to find relics and treasures and antiquities that they can use ultimately to fund their drive, a grand goal that is what motivates them to do what they do. The characters are doomed. They are not going to have good endings. Even if you win in Trophy Dark, you never really win. And so that's sort of the idea of Trophy Dark. The incursion we're going to be doing is called the Flocculent Cathedral. This is the starting incursion, or the recommended starting incursion if you've never played Trophy Dark before. It kind of touches on a lot of the game's like bigger themes. And in particular, it's about a group of treasure hunters who are going into the middle of they're trying to seek the center of this sort of swampy forest in order to find this legendary cathedral that they will ostensibly plunder, but maybe they do other things when they're there too. So that's kind of the idea of Trophy Dark. Trophy Dark, well, I'll talk about this in tone, actually. Let me skip on to Aim. So Aim. The goal of the characters in the story is to advance deeper into it, to find treasure, to stay alive if they can. And that's sort of the idea for them. The goal of us as players, however, is to tell their story. And that story may not be a good one. And indeed, in servicing the goal of telling their story, we might have to make their lives really hard and challenging. And so that is sort of the whole deal with sort of what we're trying to do as players. It's a very cinematic game, I would say. It's not a game that concerns itself too much with there's no combat, for example. There's no combat. There's not a lot of like what we would call back in the day simulationist concerns. We are here to tell a good story, and we kind of zoom in on the really cool stuff. The tone of the game, as you might imagine, is dark, and it's very horror forward, and it's very much about exploring characters. It's a very internal sort of thing as well. You'll have lots of opportunities to interact with each other, obviously, but a good portion of what you're going to be doing is telling this really like personal, angsty story about your character, right? And so that's sort of the idea. Another tone note is that Trophy Dark embraces what we call at Gauntlet HQ this sort of play to lose ethos of gameplay. So the idea with play to lose is your character is probably not going to survive this. They are probably going to be broken or dead, or something really horrible is going to happen to them before we're finished. And that's okay. Once you realize that's about to happen, lean into it and give us the best possible ending you can. And once your character starts to spiral, do your best to get them through to the end. But at some point, just lean into it and give us a good story. That's the play to lose ethos. And I guess the last thing I want to talk about is subject matter. So in particular, this incursion is going to have a lot to do with insects. It's going to have a lot to do with religious horror, and as with pretty much every trophy thing, body horror. So those are the kind of big top line things. We've already noted lines and veils in our character keeper. We will also have the X card available for this in terms of safety tools. If something happens in the story that is just conflicts with your idea of fun, or if it makes you uncomfortable in an unfun way, just say X card or type it in our personal chat here, and I will stop and we'll fix whatever we need to fix. I might ask what is being X carded, but I'll never ask why is it being X carded. There are a couple of little gameplay things I want to talk about outside of the cats before we begin, because I think they're important. It's also important for viewers who are not familiar with the game. This is a collaborative storytelling game. I am a GM, and you are the players. It does have that kind of very traditional GM player setup that we know from most role-playing games. But this is a really, really collaborative exercise. There are going to be lots of opportunities for you to fill in the details of this story. And one of the big ways you're going to do that is with something that's called Devil's Bargains. So whenever your characters try to do something that is dangerous, or they try to overcome some kind of obstacle, you're going to do what's called the risk roll. As a player, you will guide us through the risk roll and all the steps that we have to do. And one of those steps is the Devil's Bargain. And this is really your best chance as a player to really raise the stakes of the story and to create things that no one saw coming, right? This is where all the best drama of Trophy Dark comes from, are the Devil's Bargains. So as an example, let's say that Craig's character is trying to leap across a gorge or something, right? Trying to leap across a chasm. And Craig's going through the risk roll. We get to the part where it's Devil's Bargains, and we all start to offer Devil's Bargains. Well, maybe I offer a simple Devil's Bargain, and simple is okay sometimes. I say, well, Craig, no matter what, your character is going to drop their weapon down into the gorge. What that means is a Devil's Bargain is something that is true whether Craig fails or succeeds at the die roll. So if Craig's character, if you succeed, it's because your sword slipped out of your hand down into the gorge, right? If you fail, it's because your character also fell down into the gorge. So this is what we mean. It happens no matter what, right? Now, dropping something down the gorge, that's a pretty simple Devil's Bargain, and that's okay sometimes. Sometimes simple is good. Sometimes the easiest answer is the right answer. But I suspect that Lizzie would say something much more interesting than my offer, which is, well, maybe we look at Craig's character's drive, which, spoiler alert, bribe the justiciars so they erase your crimes. Lizzie says, well, no matter what, there's a justiciar on the other side of the gorge. Now we have something really interesting here. It's connected to Craig's character's drive. It's a brand new story element, and it increases the drama, right? So Devil's Bargains are your chance to get engaged with the other characters' stories and to create things that no one saw coming. So that's one of the big ways that the sort of collaborative nature of the game manifests. There's other ways too, but that's the big one. I'll also be asking you a lot about your drives, speaking of drives. So I'm going to recommend that as we play this week and next week, and in between sessions, be thinking about your drive, what it means, what are the implications of it, what does it mean to your character, maybe even be ready to tell a story about it next week, that kind of thing. Do you all have any questions about the cats or any of these little rule notes that I have brought up? Fantastic. Then I think what I'd like to do at this point is just introduce the characters. We'll do a really simple introduction here. We'll go around the table and introduce your character by name and pronouns, by occupation, background, drive, and if you want to tell us about your rituals, you can. You don't have to. When you're introducing your drive, if you know something about your drive at this point, you can tell us, but it's okay if you want to wait. A big part of this game, as I noted when I talked about aims, is we are going to be discovering who these characters are. We're telling their story. So their backstory, we'll learn it as we go. Their drive, we'll learn more as we go. So I'm going to go in the order of the sheet, which means I'm going to start with Craig.
So I am Orlin. I am a magician, but I am also a disinherited noble. My drive is very simple. I need to bribe the justicars so they will erase my crimes. And what I will get if my crimes are erased, I think we'll find out.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Let's go now to Lizzie.
Well, I'm playing Talia, she, her. I am a vessel and a retired soldier. My drive is to commission a glorious statue of my deity.
Fantastic. Thank you. Let's go to Nathan.
All right. I am playing Kel. Kel is a naturalist with a background of orphan mannequin. Kel has the pronouns they and is about a 3 foot tall, looks like block of wood with arms and legs. And Kel's real driving goal is to attend Countess Shima's Forbidden Festival. And I think that's because that's where their bride or groom, they're not sure, will be waiting.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And finally, let's go to Dika.
You're on mute, Dika. That's how we know Dika's
Can you
on
hear
the
me
panel.
now? Hi. So I'm gonna be playing Kiva. She, her pronouns. Her occupation is nest. Her background is an escaped cultist. And her drive, she's attempting to retrieve the lost banner of the Nameless Legion. And you'll find her rituals later on as we play.
Fantastic. All right. That all sounds great to me. Does anyone have any questions about the characters at this point? Any last minute little questions about the rules? It's okay. We're going to be learning the game as we play as well. So that's fine if you don't know everything completely well yet. Awesome. This might be a little weird for stream purposes, but I love to take a little short break right after character introductions just to go grab water and get ready. So maybe like 2 or 3 minutes, folks. We'll come back.
That sounds great. We'll go to a quick timer. It'll be a 10-minute timer, but we'll be back at 8 minutes.
Okay. The Flocculent Cathedral. Saint who spilled their blood for me, lain in flocculent reverie. I seek your light upon my brow. I would be your trophy now. Chained within this dank domain, your relics, all that I retain, all your teachings I avow. I would be your trophy now. This foul entombment of your will, I would not see you slumber still, no quarter to what men allow. Take me as your trophy now. Ring 1. The treasure hunters stand at the edge of the gloaming mire, a mangrove-dense fen that is rumored to hold the flocculent cathedral, which is your aim, because there lie the secrets of the sisters, the saints who act as our guides in this world of gods, in this world of disparate faiths. They bring it all together. The flocculent cathedral, some say, is where the sisters first began their missionary work so many centuries ago. And certainly, there will be secrets and treasures worthy enough for your individual drives, for your goals. But for now, the gloaming mire. It is very hot very uncomfortable and humid. There is a slowness to everything. Everything feels simultaneously bursting with life and rapidly decaying. At one point, you come upon a broad, shallow pond filled to capacity with foot-long koi fish, each with a thick, mottled coat of slimy, multicolored moss covering it like fur. Some of the koi are so burdened with moss they can't even rise to the surface. They just sit down there, entombed in this fetid water. At one point, you will come across 24 skulls arranged in a row. The tops of the skulls have been neatly sawed off, and they've been arranged to form planters from which garishly colored carnivorous pitcher plants grow. Fat, iridescent horseflies buzz languidly around these skull pots. And now I want to see you. But first, let's see this place. You are on the edge of the glowing mire. You have not gotten that deep into it yet. There are people who still live. They've managed to strike out some kind of living in this harsh environment. I would like to ask you each, what do you see or notice that shows that living on the edge of the mire takes its toll on those who dwell here? And how have they adapted to this place? Whoever wants to speak first can.
I think it's almost like a shanty town. There's no permanent buildings, but you can tell they live here as permanently as they can. And I'm also envisioning lots of trinkets being sold, promising protection, promising that, you know, there are dangers within, but if you buy this, and I feel like that's maybe where many of them are making their living. So children running up trying to sell trinkets.
I'll go next. What I can essentially see is the wear and tear that it's bringing to the actual people itself. Teenagers look like they're in their 20s, 20-year-olds look like they're in their 30s. And this makes, they're adapting by attempting to live as fulfilled as they can. And they're more, let's say, short in lifespan.
They've also developed a diet that's mostly fungi and algae, and have actually learned to make it somewhat edible, functional.
Unfortunately, the moisture has caused like parts of their arms and legs to rot away. And the only way they've gotten around the loss of structure there is to tie reeds along their arms and legs to give it like the ability to be still used as a limb.
Fantastic, thank you. At this point, I'm going to turn the scene over to the four of you. And in particular, I'm interested to know what you look like, if you're accustomed to this type of environment, and if not, how are you adapting to this environment? How are you enduring the heat, the wetness, the rot? I'm really interested in the mannequin and what adaptations you've had to make, or if any. I'll turn it over to you all for roleplay, and I'll interject whenever I feel the need.
So I can tell you with Orland that I am overdressed. I am layered. I have a cloak. I have very high boots that are functioning as waders for me right now, but they were obviously 10 years ago boots I would wear to court. A very Seinfeld puffy shirt, and a staff. And at first glance, I look moneyed, but at second glance, you realize that I am a secondhand noble.
What you see as you're looking at me is hair that's tied up and a what you assume as a cloak, dark clothing, not necessarily used to this heat, but is making do the best I'm able to. Um, Dark brown skin, and you'll see that almost every portion of her skin is tattooed very geometrically, and she looks the very opposite of Orlin, like filthy.
Well, I am similar but different and also filthy, but I wear a very simple white sheath dress with long hair that's wet and damp and pressed close and streaming, with completely cloudy eyes. And she's kind of lost in her spin, looking about the place.
Kel went into the water very confidently because wood floats and this was going to be easy. And then as soon as those koi fish started paying attention to them, started trying to swim away, but has no sense of like flippers or anything like even fingers to put together to get a good push in the water. So it's a lot of floundering and panic movement in the water, trying to get to some of these drier spaces.
Fantastic. Just keep having the scene.
Yeah, I'm taking my staff and not aggressively, but I'm kind of tapping on your body, Kel. Do you breathe?
As much as you do, but you won't if you keep. Ah!
Why don't you leave the little thing alone?
It's very difficult. He's made it the same as my staff, and I just
Here,
dink, dink, dink,
give me that staff, and I try to pull myself up it to get out of the water. This is why the fancy lads shouldn't come along.
You see me react to that. I'm very complimented that you think I'm a
I
fancy
would-
lad.
I wouldn't necessarily call him a fancy lad.
I
know nothing,
would.
Kiva.
I hum a little under my breath.
No, you could smell the money on this one. It's cents, not dollars, but still pretty impressive.
Now, I realize that none of you
Sure.
were willing to sign the contracts, but at least we can go in agreeing that we will split everything evenly.
Mm.
And even if we come out less than the four of us, everything still will be split evenly.
Split to the
Is that
remainders,
agreed?
correct? Not to some imaginary fourth living person.
I would have felt much better if we had contracts, but I'm willing to accept the verbal verification, and that will hold up.
Oh,
I ever challenge it.
Orlin, I do not bother myself with these words you speak of.
When conflicts arises, you will.
Conflict is natural.
Waving my hand in front of Talia's face. Can you see with those?
I like to envision that I cannot physically see what is around me, but the being that inhabits me can. That's how I use it. So I will look at you, slowly turn my head towards you.
So just to be clear, under your contract plan, does Talia get 2 shares? And Kiva seems to get more.
Kel, this is why we write things down. It clarifies all of this. I have it all written out the contract. Everybody gets equal shares, 1 for 1. I don't care how many things you think you have inside you or how many splinters of wood you're made of.
Now, so the shares are from physical bodies.
Kiva understands.
I think you're getting worked, my friend. Let's go.
Can we? I'm bothered by the children. I would like to go inside, please.
I don't like children either.
We'll follow you anywhere.
And I'm gonna like lifting my boots out of the muck, trying to move forward.
A little later, you'll eventually continue through this mangrove maze. This mangrove maze eventually becomes a mangrove road, kind of guiding you inexorably towards the center of the glowing mire. You leave what little remnants of civilization there are here behind you as you go deeper into the fen. The sun is very high in the sky now. It's very hot. But it's actually not as bright as you might think, because the tree cover is so thick that only little shafts of light can pierce through. You hear something up ahead. You hear a group of people. It's not immediately obvious how many, but it's at least, I'd say, half a dozen, maybe more. You can hear them laughing. You can hear them singing. Maybe they are fellow travelers. Maybe they are bandits guarding this lone passage into the mire. But as you approach, and you're not necessarily getting close enough to where they can see you yet, but as you are sort of making your way, they're singing a song with many verses. Each of you will hear a little bit of verse that reminds you of something. The song is about people who found the flocculent cathedral, but promptly squandered the riches they brought back from the depths of the gloaming mire. They squandered it, or through sorcery, trickery, or simple ill fortune, they lost it. They lost everything. You will each hear a verse that will remind you of your own background. Indeed, a verse that matches up really closely to your own story, why you're coming here. I'd like for you each to tell me what happens in the verse that feels so familiar and how you will avoid the fate of the poor greedy fool who's depicted in the song.
I think the verse that rings for me is one about a young boy, much similar in age to me in his early 20s, late teens, who found what felt like an endless purse of gold and rubies that he took from the cathedral. And when he re-entered civilization, he coveted it to the point where he didn't want to spend any of it. And it drove him to steal and to fill it even more. And eventually that was his downfall, and he ended up penniless in a prison.
Kel, the song is about a puppet maker who makes a puppet and sends it to the cathedral to save his daughter. And manages to save the daughter, falls in love with her, and when he brings her back to her father and asks for her hand, the puppet maker destroys it with an axe. And uses him to build a fire to warm his daughter's bed.
How will you avoid that fate?
I'll kill the puppet maker first, or I already did. We'll find out.
And I forgot to mention how I was going to avoid my fate. I'm going to avoid my fate because I know exactly how much money I need to gather and to spend. I have a target.
What I will hear is tales of a young innocent running away, running into the cathedral, coming out with the most beautiful of fabric, giving that fabric up to help free others. And all it did was put her in chains and she lost her head.
Oh, jeez.
Yes.
How are you going to keep your head about you then?
Whew. Try and fashion the items that is gathered for selfish reasons instead of selfless.
Nice.
Yes.
Mine's going to be about the fight into here, the clashing of swords, the glory of coming out of it with this great reward, and becoming so obsessed with keeping it and maintaining it that she was willing to commit unspeakable acts of violence and what she would consider defense, but most definitely is not, until she finally takes out the wrong person. Too many people, ends up in chains, a lightless dungeon, and left to rot. And I'm going to avoid it because I don't need the recognition when I leave here.
Well, the people up ahead are, the words are getting increasingly slurred. And we can imagine that they're getting increasingly drunk. You can hear a couple of fights breaking out every now and then. So they're probably violent, rough people. You might even hear conversation that relays sort of the pleasures and joy taken when they robbed the last group of people who tried to use the mangrove road. You're not where they can see you yet. You still have time to decide how you want to deal with this, how you want to get past them. Are they going to be friend or foe? Will you sneak past? Will you try to confront them directly? Will you join their party? In any case, what do you do?
Well, it seems we have some road bandits to attest to.
I assume nobody brought a map.
A map?
Why?
Because maps
No.
are handy. They're very useful. That's
Well,
why.
yes, but it's not a found cathedral.
What if, let's say, we were to create a distraction, something that would pull them off the road long enough for us to slide by? Of course, I am a very well-known magician, and of course I could do this without thinking about it, but I don't want to take anything away from the three of you because we are splitting this equally.
I would love to see that.
Oh, yes, show us your majesty.
Oh, no, I'm happy to. Don't get me wrong.
Brilliant.
I am happy to, but I want to give the opportunities, of course. for a greater distraction, or a noble attempt at least.
Or noble attempts.
I do well in the shadows. I think I will remain in them. I hope you all make it, but if not, I will go on.
Maybe I might have. I'm a little bit more violent. Do you want them alive?
Oh, I care not. I want to get from here to there. And with you, the three of you, of
Whatever's
course.
easiest.
What
Okay.
kind of violence do you intend?
Who knows? We're in a forest and we're in a swamp. Anything can happen.
So what will you all do to get past them?
I'm deferring to you, Kiva.
Me? Okay. Okay. Time for actual question then in game. From my skills, I have something called vermin.
Uh-huh.
Am I able to summon essentially vermins?
Let's see here. You have the
That's
skill of vermin. You are a nest, which means you are a literal nest for vermin. I think that's interesting.
Mhm.
I think your rituals are tadpole, ether, and enliven. I do think you can. I don't know if like it would be like a per se ritual necessarily or magic,
Mhm.
but you might be able to do something that would cause the vermin in the area, rats, insects, what have you,
That's
snakes.
wrong.
You might cause them to descend upon this group, or maybe you can collect a bunch beforehand and unleash them into the group. I think that's fantastic.
Okay. So what, and stop me anytime. What you'll see her do is kind of shoo you all a little bit out the way, sit cross-leg into the muck itself. Take her pinky, cut into her palm, put it to the ground, and she's going to say, friends that everyone hates, come out and feast. So she is attempting to summon a vermin in the area to descend upon these gentlemen.
I like this.
Spectants.
This is going to be the risk roll. So
Okay.
if you'll head over to the character keeper, and on the left-hand side, there you'll see the different rolls. You can hover over risk roll, and it'll give you the text of the roll. Go ahead and just start reading that and guiding us through it.
Okay. When attempting a risky task, declare what you hope will happen and ask the GM and other players what could go wrong. So, what I hope happens is that the vermin in the area will come and try to kind of feast upon the bandits in the road, stopping our way. So, everyone else who's against me, what could go wrong?
I think you might summon some very large vermin that don't take kindly to being bossed around.
I think there's also a fear that there's confusion over who is the target. And I am concerned that you will draw them out, but draw them to us.
I think there's a real risk of major infection where you cut your wrist to draw this blood.
I'm going to go with a simple one and say that nothing shows up.
You have no friends here.
No friends.
Fantastic. All right, keep going.
So, Then I will take one light die if my background occupation have given me any number of skills that can assist me. Um, if none, I do not get this die. I have vermin
Roman? Yeah.
as a skill, so I will add one to light. Take one light die for accepting a devil's bargain from another player or the GM. Devil's bargains are complications that will occur no matter the outcome of the roll.
I'm going to say that no matter what, the vermin will demand payment or tribute in some way.
I mean, it gives me a dice. Of course, I'll take it.
Well, everybody gets to make an offer, so.
Oh.
I think one of the bandits is going to be familiar with you and is going to survive and may later on choose to enact some revenge, knowing that what exactly happened.
Okay.
I'm going to build off of that. I think my devil's bargain is one of these bandits, in fact, is in contact with the Nameless Legion. And no matter what happens, they are going to warn them that you are in search of the banner.
Oh man, guys got all the good ones. I think no matter what, you are going to find the most direct path to the banner.
Oh, I can play with that. Yeah. So you have to choose now,
Okay.
Kiva, which of the ones you want, and then you can reject them all too. But but you can choose which one you want, and then it will be true no matter what.
Oh my gosh, there's so many good ones. I feel like the best, aka worst one, is I'm gonna pick Lizzie's.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Good. So to be clear, you will find the most direct path to the banner of the Nameless Legion. Okay, good.
Nothing could go
Good
wrong.
wording.
Mhm.
Gosh. All right. Then add one dark die if I'm risking your mind or body to succeed, or if you're performing a ritual, or if the GM declares that it applies.
I don't think it does yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not yet. No, you can add it later, but for now, I think you're okay.
Okay. Would you like me to read through the successes?
No, go ahead and roll first. So do a risk roll with 2 light. That's a 1. That's a total failure. If you would like to not deal with one of the possible terrible outcomes we all talked about, you can add a dark die and roll all of them again. So you roll the 2 light and 1 dark anew.
I'm gonna just go ahead and do that.
Go ahead. So
That
2
feels
light, 1
very
dark. 6 light. That's what you want.
Okay.
You are going to succeed. You are going to be able to gather enough vermin and unleash them upon the bandits so that they run away or spread out, so that you don't have to, so you all can get past them. Go ahead and just describe what that looks like. Give us a moment here.
So, as you see her cross leg on the floor, bloody hand to the ground, calling out to the vermin of the area, what you'll see is first you hear it. You hear the skitters, the scatters of rats, roaches, the termites, the worms, coming up from the ground where they're around. And then it's just a sea of black that's going by us as well into this settlement of the bandits. And they see it. And of course, the first time with the worms, they're like stepping on us. What's going on? They see this black cloud of just vermin coming at them, and they're scattering to the wind.
I'm going to suggest there is one vermin that does not follow the rest.
Okay.
It's an adder. Glistening black scales and perfectly bright yellow eyes. And this adder, unbeknownst to you for now, slithers its way into your pack. We'll follow up on this in a bit.
Okay.
I would like to just see everybody else as we're moving through, continuing down the mangrove path, walking past what's left of the camp of the bandits. What do you do? What do we see?
I'm going to kind of saddle up next to you as we're walking, Kiva, and go, that's different than what I would have done, but it was quite effective, my lady. But who did you teach under? Who did you learn under? Who was your mentor?
You wouldn't understand, but I will hold my hand out for you to shake.
Oh, that's you've good. Can you just wait for clean it off a little? It's quite dirty.
No.
What? Bump elbows with you. Well done. I think that was fantastic. I will save my magic for later. This was excellent. Well done.
Well, thank you. I want to take any food that they had at their camp, by the way.
Yeah, as you arrive you can kind of go through their camp. They had not yet built their fire because it's still pretty early in the day. But they have what appears to be stashes of ill-gotten, maybe like salted meats. There might even be a little bit of loose coinage. I'm going to pose the following to Orlin and Talia. The two of you, as you're all just kind of rummaging through their stuff, getting ready to proceed apace, you two will be aware of a bandit that did not run away with the rest. He's a little bit off the path in the sort of choke of the mangrove forest. And you can hear him muttering, "Where is it? Where is it? Got to find it. Got to find it. Got to find it before the others get back." What do you do?
Do you hear it?
Yes?
I think we should help.
That's one word.
I'm going to start walking towards the voice.
Come with you.
You will see one of the bandits, a young man, maybe no more than, early 20s or so, say, just a very light bit of stubble. And by looking at him, how can you tell that life on the fen is hard?
His clothes are just in awful shape. They are essentially rags at this point, and the muck, some of the moss that's been growing on the koi, I can see starting to grow on his skin as well.
He has stick and bones. He's all angles, and you can see his ribs and his cheekbones even cutting through his clothing.
He is looking for something. He's kind of like keeping low. He keeps looking like to the left and to the right to see if any of his companions have started to return yet. He's looking for something and he wants to find it before they get back. What do you both do?
I'm going to kind of come up behind him a little bit and take my walking staff and take the end of it under his chin and lift his chin up so he's looking at me. Little boy, what are you looking for? And he's my age.
Yeah, that's a good question. Like, so you're both pretty young, right?
Yeah.
I think he will say, "Who are you? Where did you come from?"
Your friends are gone. It is just you. So if you're worried about them finding what you're looking for before you find it, that threat is past.
He pulls in really close to you and he says, We have a chest here, buried somewhere nearby. We keep most of our findings, the things we've located in our journeys. We keep it hidden so that, well, people like me can't abscond with it in the night. Help me find it. I'll split it with you 3 ways.
Talia, I think that's fantastic, don't you?
3, yeah, of course.
It's almost as if he had a contract.
Almost.
Can you help me? Can you help me locate it?
I'm looking at you, Talia.
I am completely unsettling. I'm just smiling slightly too big and still humming a little bit. And I look at him.
So how deep do you typically bury this, or is it?
Well, I don't even know that it's buried. It could be up in one of the trees. It could be, maybe it's under a rock. I don't know.
I'll look down, Talia, if you look up.
Okay.
Now, Talia, I do notice that you have the guide ritual.
I do.
Which allows you to conjure a thread to follow. Would you like to try that?
I think this is a good time to try that out. Yeah.
So, same thing. Go over to the risk roll, hover over there, and guide us through it.
Excellent. Okay, when attempting a risky task, declare what you hope will happen and ask the GM and other players what could go wrong. I am hoping that we're going to find this treasure chest.
I think what could go wrong is that the thread leads you into danger.
Absolutely.
I fear that the thread goes behind us and leads others to us.
Well, that's good.
I think it will lead you astray.
I think the thread's going to lead you exactly there. But these people are pathetic, and you'll spend several hours looking for, like, tracking this chest down with nothing in it. Or with, like, nothing worthwhile.
Like trinkets.
Yeah.
Trinket.
Oh, it's
Children trinkets.
yeah.
Love it. Okay, so first I'm going to take a light die from my where is it? Ritual for guide. And then
Well, to be clear, the light die comes from your skills.
my
So
apologies.
yeah, that's
Gotcha.
okay. So if you have a skill that would be helpful in this situation, you can use it.
I mean, I have a skill in rituals.
Oh, perfect. Okay,
Yes.
fantastic. That's a good one in this case.
And I don't like any of those bargains. So no, I'm not going to take any of them.
Oh, we haven't made our bargains yet. That was just us saying what
Oh,
we
that
think
was
could
the
go wrong.
wrong. Oh,
Yeah.
I don't want it to go wrong.
If you're taking devil's bargains, though, you don't have to. But
Would you like to hear some devil's bargains?
I'll hear them, yes.
no matter what, it's not treasure that's hidden. It's something else.
Yeah, I think no matter what, this boy is not anything like he appears to be. And this is a trap that it has laid many times.
You will find a treasure, but it will be a bastardized statue of your deity.
no matter what, the thread that you follow unravels from your own corporeal form and takes away a little bit of your flesh.
Can you do that one more time, Nathan? We're having a hard time hearing you.
Your thread will unravel from your own corporeal form and take a little bit of yourself with it.
Oh man, I really like Jason's. I'm gonna take that one.
Fantastic. So, good. You have 2 light dice, and you must take a dark die because of the ritual.
Absolutely. Okay. Here we go. Okay. It's higher than my
Ooh,
ruin.
It's tied though. What
Yep.
happens?
So you have a tie with 4 light, 4 dark. Dark always trumps light, so you have a 4 dark. Your current ruin is 3, and because that's higher than your current ruin, it means your 2.
Okay.
So that means your ruin goes up to 3. So
Okay.
go ahead and note a ruin of 3. We'll talk about what that means in the fiction in a moment.
Sure.
But for now, I'm going to... There's going to be a complication here, right? And the complication is going to be connected to what's in the treasure chest. And the complication is essentially going to be these bandits are not what they appear to be. So that's the major complication. Now, normally, if you had not rolled a dark high, you would be able to add another dark die to try to avoid that. But since you rolled dark high, you have to stop. And so, because I define the complication, you get to describe the scene. What does it look like when you summon the thread? What does it look like as you and your fellow treasure hunter are navigating the space? Now, we do have one option here because we have Orlin on the scene. Orlin, because there's a dark die in Talia's roll, you can do a help roll and try to go for a 6 to avoid this complication I've put on the table that the bandits are not what they appear to be. If you do a help roll and your help roll matches the dark die, then your ruin also goes up.
And I'm going to get just a 1 die.
1 single die, and you're going for a 6. You have a 1 in 6 chance.
Yeah, I'm going for a 6. Do I describe the help before I roll, or do I roll first?
You can just roll it first if you want to do it. Yeah, you don't have to. But...
No, I'm good.
And also, to be perfectly clear, Talia can say that they don't want the help.
Oh, okay.
Right? But yeah.
Oh no, please help.
Yeah, not much help.
You got a 3, so it doesn't help. You might be helping in the fiction, if not in reality. Okay, so let's get back to it. Talia, describe the scene. Describe what it looks like as you're sort of summoning the thread and then following it to this treasure.
It's almost as if like an inner sickening golden color like leaches out of me and condenses into this kind of ethereal physical thread that winds its way through, and the song that I've been humming amplifies, and it sounds like there's maybe 2 or 3 or a chorus of voices behind it, and I just sort of grasp onto it and follow it hand over hand like a life rope.
We'll get to what you find in a moment. I want to check in with the others. In particular, I want to check in with Kel. Kel, Kiva summoned all of these insects and snakes and rats and frogs and other vermin. Regrettably, also quite a lot of termites.
Yeah.
And you can start to see the early bits of a termite colony trying to form on your corpus. What do you do?
Kel has never dealt with termites before, And basically, since the summoning had been keeping their distance from Kiva, and I think when the colony starts to form, their reaction is extreme. And I think whatever campfire is left, probably a smoky mess, they try to prop themselves over the fire to use the smoke to chase the vermins off, but probably putting themselves at risk from the fire in doing so.
I think that's right. You can go ahead and take us through the risk roll.
Okay, so what are the horrible things that could happen?
I mean, I think you covered it. You catch on fire. you accelerate very quickly and burn up.
Do you want to read it out for us, Kel?
I was going to say, does anyone else have any other things that can go wrong?
What could go wrong?
I feel like that covers it.
Forward.
Yeah, that's
You're made of
about
wood
the
and you're
worst.
jumping into a campfire, so I'm good.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Well, I'm going to add one light die because I do have skills of beasts.
Good. I like that. Yeah.
And I'm going to see if there are any devil's bargains out there for this little fella.
Go ahead, Tika.
I'll wait. I want to see what everyone else does first.
So I think no matter what happens, these termites are very similar to termites in our world, except they have a little bit more of a hive mind, much like ants or bees. So no matter what happens, they get a taste of you, and that spreads among the colonies throughout this forest. And this won't be the last time that we find termites stalking you.
I was going to say, if you fell, something is going to, not only will you catch on fire, of course, but something is going to brand you.
Oh, that's
Well, is that-
interesting.
Yeah, that's super interesting.
So
That's
no matter
what
no matter
happens.
what, you are branded in some way. That's intriguing. Yeah.
I think that no matter what, a part inside of you is going to continuously burn.
Oh, that's intriguing. I'll second any of those. I think I like all of those. So you have three options.
I like the brand. I think that's got a really interesting potential long term.
Yeah, that's intriguing indeed. I think there's something interesting there. Okay, so keep going.
Oh, and this is not a ritual, so there's no dark dye. I do think I'm putting my body.
You are. Yes, regrettably, you're putting your body in danger.
That, and that's going to be too late in the dark then. And
Yep.
Let's see how it does. There we go. A beautiful 6.
Oh, nice.
Fantastic. 6 light as well. It's great.
Yeah.
Give me the scene. How do you rid yourself of these termites?
So it's almost when Kel gets over the fire, their arms and legs start extending just a little bit more than you would think they could as they get their body over this fire, and they're kind of brushing wet leaves and moss onto the fire to increase it. And as the smoke clears, you can just see this spot. And brand might not be the right term because it's where the termites were chewing. And it matches one of Keevan's tattoos perfect.
Ooh.
And Kel looks down and is like, what the hell? What have you done to me? And starts like rolling around in the dirt.
I want you to know that entire time I was just watching. I offered you no help at all. And I'm eating salted meat.
Enjoy your bites.
Are you okay?
No, but it's okay. It's worth it for my love.
Well, you did not get set on fire, so that's at least a positive.
God, how hideous to have a mark like this on my body.
Can you imagine?
Careful.
Well,
The
I'm
fire's
intrigued.
still lit.
I'm intrigued by this. I mean, you now have this mark that is like one of Kiva's tattoos. What's the significance of the tattoo?
Oh, I was tattooed probably at a very inappropriate age from the symbol of my actual cult. So he is branded with a cultist tattoo.
Interesting. Intriguing. I think it'd be even more interesting if you no longer have the tattoo, Kiva. Like it's transferred somehow to Kel, but I'll let you decide that.
I agree with that, Jason.
Wonderful.
It's almost like saying that like the hold that the cult had on you is like is
It's
loosened.
elsewhere.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
that's cool.
intriguing.
Transferred. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I feel a pull from this mark.
Maybe you should try it again.
I look over at the fire, I look back, and I just kind of sulk away.
Oh, come now. It didn't even hurt, did it?
I don't know pain.
Fair. Jerky?
Yes.
Back with the other two characters as you're following this thread. The whole time you're following the thread, this young man whose name is Marcus, he's talking. He says, I actually haven't been with this group for very long. I only recently joined them. They have strange customs, but they're interesting. They have interesting stories to tell. And I know that every time camp is made, before camp is made, they hide something that they don't want to be found. I think it's all of the coinage that they've managed to find in their travels, if you know what I mean. Ill-gotten. And so, why shouldn't we take it from them, right?
Marcus, I could not agree more. I like how your mind works. You're very, very, very top of the mind for someone your age. I'm very impressed by you.
I just learned a long time ago that you have to always have your eye open for opportunities. That's what my father said to me. He said, Marcus, make sure that in general you keep your eyes closed because the world is filled with horrors that one should not look upon, but occasionally you need to open it so that you can see the opportunities. And this is an opportunity if I've ever seen one. This is so interesting. This thread. Is this magic from the sisters?
No?
I hope you won't mind me saying, but you have a rather strange mien, a rather unusual presence. But I believe you that this thread is going to take us to what we seek.
Of course it will. Have faith.
Yes. And eventually the thread leads you to... It stops at a large rock. And you can hoist the rock up. And indeed, you will see a large trunk or chest inside a depression that's been dug. He takes out a knife and he pops open the trunk. And you see his face, like he's so excited. He's getting increasingly excited, his eyes widening as he's like fiddling with the lock. He can't wait to get his hands on all this ill-gotten treasure. And when he pops it open, his expression turns to one of confusion. And he pulls out what appear to be shirts or like cloaks that bear the mark of the King's Guard. A dozen or more of them. He's like, but what is all this? And he's pulling out all these like King's Guard uniforms. And he looks up at you and he says, what does this mean?
It means that your definition of treasure and ill-gotten gains is different than Talia's and mine. Did you know that this would be in the chest?
No, I didn't. Why would they hide something like this?
It means that Kiva has overrun Kingsguard.
Kingsguard? But Kingsguard wouldn't run away from a bunch of rats and snakes. Indeed, you both find yourself quite suddenly flanked by a large group of highly skilled warriors loyal to the king, who gave chase only to circle back. And they all have their weapons drawn. What do you both do?
This is on you, boy.
He immediately says, he turns and says, I got them. There they are. Grab them quick. And tries to scramble away.
I immediately turn
Ha
to
ha
them.
ha, villains, the trap is sprung.
No.
Please don't be tropey.
We brought the treasure hunters to you, just like we were told to. They summoned these vermin. You need to focus on them. Talia and I have done our job.
Well, to be clear, are you trying to get away from these armed men now?
I'm trying to trick them into thinking that we led these other two
I see.
to them.
Yeah.
That we
Very
are in
good.
fact, by the king's doing the king's bidding as well, which is to catch, treasure hunters as they come into the forest.
This is absolutely a risk roll. Go ahead and take us through it.
Or you can just give it to me, Jason. Jesus.
No.
All right. Yeah. So I, when attempting a risky task, declare that you hope will happen. What I'm hoping will happen is that they will go, thank you so much. And then they will go after Kiva and Kel. Not seeing us as treasure hunters, but as those that led treasure hunters here. I wonder though, does the GM or other players have any thoughts on what could potentially go wrong?
I definitely do
Nobody
not.
does it, so
They just kill you. They just walk in and kill you. They have no time for your charlatan behavior.
I think those contracts you made earlier, you accidentally put some magic in them that you didn't mean to. And any wounds that are suffered by Kiva and myself, you also suffer.
everything's shared equally. That's amazing.
Oh shoot, I like that. I'm gonna add some more to the contracts that you harp on. They fall out your pocket, and it clearly shows you're part of the, the hunters.
Yeah, I think all of those could go wrong. I am going to shop for Devil's Bargains, but first I will get one light die from Trickery. I have the skill Trickery, so I will have one light. Definitely risking, so I think I will end up with one dark. But I would prefer to have two light. So who wants to give me a Devil's Bargain?
No matter what, first house of your line is one of the men.
Like a cousin or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. And just like ID'd me from the very beginning.
That's pretty good. I'm gonna say I actually kind of like what was said earlier. What Dika said earlier about like the contract falls out of your pocket. I kind of like that as Devil's Bargain. Like no matter what, the contract falls out of your pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna back that one too. I want this to go smoothly.
I think no matter what, this increases the bribe necessary to erase your crimes.
Oh,
because it builds on what your record is.
That's a good one.
Nice.
Oh, that's interesting. I'm going to take a light die to be that no matter what, and if I succeed, she says nothing. If I fail, obviously but one of my cousins has pegged me from the very beginning. So I'd like to take
Oh, that's really
that
good.
as well.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah.
So I will pick up a second light die. Here we go. Oh, damn it. Damn it.
6 dark. Your ruin is going up. You succeed though, full success.
Yep.
Um,
Yay!
Describe how you. I'm not going to say what they do, but just describe how you escape this situation. Both of you.
So, come here. Come close. And I get him to come close and go, this looks like yours. And I start handing out the uniforms.
Like, what are you doing? Like,
They'll be far more intimidated if you're dressed up. So just the ruse is over. Put on your costumes, uniforms, and go in here. Like I will direct you to them, capture them. The wood one, open him up. He's full of treasure, gold everywhere inside. He's like a little chest, and right over there. But you have to put these on.
and there's a bit of talk, and one of the company members who maybe it's a cousin you recognize, I don't know, but that person kind of like takes all the others aside, and they kind of like are talking to themselves, and Marcus has slipped off. We don't know where he went. And they eventually go back and say, go on your way. Wherever you're going, go there quickly. And don't let us find you in this part of the forest again.
This part of the forest is dreadful, so that's not a concern. Are you going to do something about these treasure hunters?
Leave now.
We're leaving.
Yeah. And if it's all right with you, Talia, I want to get out of their line of sight, but I also don't want to leave Kel and Kiva. So I might have to defend them. We might have to save them.
I think
Let's fall back.
I think we'll fast forward a little bit and say that you all will eventually, there's nothing left to do in the camp, and you can all meet back up and continue on. But now you might have Kingsguard on your tail, maybe. And there's this character, Marcus, who's now out in the wind. And as you're going deeper, as we sort of wrap up Ring 1 here, I, first of all, owe the two of you who had ruin increases, I owe you conditions.
Oh, no.
As your ruin goes up, this represents the forest's getting its claws into you. Maybe it's affecting you physically, maybe it's affecting you spiritually or mentally or emotionally, but it's sinking in. And it's a small thing at first, always, but it's there. And so you will note this condition for now on your sheet. Talia, you've started to notice, ever since you invoked magic in the woods, you've started to notice that there's something tickling the roof of your mouth. There's just a little something, a little tickle. And you occasionally have to smack your tongue a bit.
Thanks for that.
To get the tickle away. And Orlin, you get a condition as well. Let me think on it. You've started to notice that little puffs of jade green spores
Oh, God.
have started to be exhaled from your lying mouth.
It's amazing.
You all are pressing deeper into the mire along the mangrove trail. And Kiva, you hear a voice from just over your shoulder. You seek the lost banner of the Nameless Legion, do you not?
I keep my voice low to myself, kind of trail a little bit further behind the team. I do.
I know where it is. The lost banner is not lost at all. The lost banner lies on the other side of the veil that separates the land of the living from the land of the dead. I can take you there. And now you realize that it's an adder crawling on your shoulder. I can take you there. You have but to let me plunge my fangs into you. Receive the gift of my venom, and you will find the banner. You will find it, and you can clutch it and hold it high above your head. And the legions of the dead will praise your name. That concludes ring 1. Let's take a 10-minute break at this point.
I think it's a phenomenal idea. We'll be back in 10 minutes. We are back, Jason.
Ring 2, wherein the treasure hunters pass out of the mangrove maze and into an area of thick brambles and stunted trees with marshy soil. You will come across the last vestiges of other people in this wood, in this fen. The remains of a campsite atop a vast bed of turquoise moss. Ragged, rotting bits and pieces of tattered and trampled gear are scattered across it. A powerful smell of animal musk hangs in the air. At some point, you will come across a wide, shallow pool, perhaps 60 feet across, filled to overflowing with clutches of frog eggs the size of fat grapes. And I wish to speak to you now of the ruin roll. The ruin roll is rolled whenever you witness or undergo something harmful or disturbing. And in this case, I'm going to say that Kiva, having an adder speak to you and talk to you about the lands of the dead, will provoke a ruin roll. So go ahead and just roll that die, and let's see if your ruin is going to go up.
Oh, can't hear you.
Of course, it's cool. I'm here. I'm good.
A 2. That means your ruin's 4, so your ruin does not go up. And so I would like to know instead, why is this interaction, this secret conversation with this snake, why is it reassuring or comforting to you?
It's a part of the group of people, the vermin that I adore, that I love, that I want to have always spoken back to me. It's telling me of its sweet poisons that will get me to where I want to go.
Was it the snakes and the toads and the rats that helped you escape the cult?
It was.
Tell me about that.
I always knew I was different. I was touched, but not by the pretty things in life. No, no, by the things that hide when the lights come on, the things that live in the shadows, in the darkness. That's when it spoke to me at a young age. Living in damped, cold conditions of the underground. That is the first time I realized they listen back. I speak and they listen.
I also would like to talk to Kel about the ruin roll. Because Kel, I think there's probably something fundamentally disturbing about ending up with a brand that matches a tattoo that Kiva no longer has. Go ahead and make a ruin roll, please.
All right. Oh no.
You've got a 4, and
Yeah.
your ruin is 4, so it
I,
actually.
I just ticked it up.
Oh,
I was-
it was 3. Got it. Okay. Well, you are reacting less positively to this idea. It's so interesting because Kiva's comfort is in memories of escaping the cult, and now you are marked by the cult. I'm curious what you think about this. How is it affecting you right now?
There's been a flood of memories that came with this. Memories that aren't my own. And they're telling me that it was always the plan for me to have this mark. And I don't like the idea that there's always been a plan for me from someone I don't know.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me more. This plan, I mean, just to be clear, this is something that you feel like you're learning now, or it's something you've always known?
I didn't know it. It's a collective memory that I've only gained since I got the brand.
Oh, I see. So it's almost like a Bene Gesserit thing or something,
Nice.
right? Like
Yeah.
you are taking on this information. Oh, that's really intriguing. It's got to have something to do with the Flocculent Cathedral, right? Maybe it even has something to do with the Forbidden Festival of Countess Shima. What's that all about?
So, Countess Shima's Forbidden Festival brings together all the debris of the world. And that's why I think it's where I need to be to meet my spouse.
All the debris of the world. Do you consider yourself debris?
Absolutely.
Is that
I'm a leaving of a piece of cut wood with arms and legs stuck to it.
is that a learned behavior, or is that something you believe in a fundamental way?
I think whatever the magic that embodied me, that was part of like the fundamental program attached to it.
Very interesting. Because your ruin went up, I owe you a condition. And so let me take a look at my list of conditions and see what might be relevant based off what we know so far.
I like that you have a quiver of
I
conditions.
do. Got 18 of them, in fact. It's always a little tricky with mannequins because they don't have like blood and flesh to play with. So,
Oh, that's something you should want to play with.
but no, I've got it. You've noticed ever since you got the brand, and especially ever since you've gotten deeper into the Fen, you've noticed that all color except green has started to drain out of the world. when did you first realize it? Maybe not easy to realize at first because you're in the middle of a very green space, right?
I think like there was a while there when we were split up that I would have had no idea. And then Orlin came back into my line of sight with his even faded, sumptuous robes. They were immediately noticeably not right anymore.
Talia, tell me about your deity.
I think I'm going to lean in here. I think that her deity is not a physical sort of thing. It is the embodiment of all this green that is leaching in. It's the natural surroundings that's becoming part of her as she continues further in.
Intriguing. So, this is a nature god, or?
I think so, yes.
Interesting. Something in this setting of trophy that's very distinct and worth commenting on. It's a world of gods like this, right? Pagan gods, hundreds, thousands of small local gods, gods you've never heard of. A lot of pigs. You get a bunch of people in a rural place, and there's a pig that somehow escaped the slaughter, and they start worshiping it. That's just how it is. It was the sisters who wrangled all this belief. They gave it all form. They came from wherever they came from, and they said, it's okay for you to have your little pagan god. That's fine. But just make sure you worship in this way. And so I'm curious, what is your relationship to the sisters? And in particular, how have the sisters tried to civilize your deity?
I think that my relationship with the sisters is actually quite contentious as they try to tame something that was never meant to be so. And Talia clings to the wildness, the untamed nature of all of it, and will rebel against anything that tries to rein it in.
Do you resent the sisters?
I think so.
I'm curious then what you hope to find at the Flocculent Cathedral, this place where, allegedly, the original sisters gathered.
I am finding the origin of what they have corrupted and bastardized to fit their needs.
Do you think they're false? The sisters?
I think that they are false, yes.
Interesting. Orlin,
I knew it was coming.
what did you do to get in so badly with the Justicars?
So the Justicars were an aftermath. The issue was my relationship to my mother, the queen. And I was the sixth son of a seventh son. So just missed it, you're right. And I couldn't kill my older brother and become seven. That just made me fifth. And I just was never acknowledged, never paid attention to. There was a pretty large gap between me and my older brothers and sisters. So I was summarily ignored, grew up as an only child. So I just started stealing shit. For a thrill, because I was bored, to try to get parental attention. And finally, like, my mother would get me off. The Justicars were getting more and more frustrated by the fact that I was untouchable. And I was given an edict, which is the most attention my mother's ever given me. And of course, I did it one more time, and she broke me from the inheritance, and I was thrown in jail. Luckily, the Justicars are very aware of how much money my family has. So a deal has been struck, which is I have a period of time to pay off them and be free, and then go back and maybe potentially annoy my mother.
Poor little rich boy. What are you afraid is going to happen if the King's Guard catch up with you?
That they will bring me back to the Justicars, and then they're going to be like, where's my money? There's a very specific amount, and I will not have it. And this is, it's all been fun and games up to this point, Jason. It's all been fun and games, and that it will no longer be fun. It will no longer be a game.
And your mother's just totally cut you off then?
Oh, there is no sixth son.
At a certain point, you all stop to rest. The sun is getting lower in the sky, though it's still the afternoon, late in the afternoon, still very hot, but easing up a bit. You've stopped to rest for a moment in the bog. Have the scene. Role play.
So, did you run into any Kingsguard back in the mangrove? Out of curiosity, just wondering.
What would we run in? No.
No, they're too afraid of places like this.
Oh, good. Because Talia and I, we encountered some, and you should have seen what she did. It was absolutely brilliant. And my hope is that when they ran in fear, there was urine smell from their uniforms, that they did not run towards you. That was our concern. So I'm glad to hear that they did not run towards you.
You know, I do catch a scent of urine. Were you afraid of something?
But specifically, that's vermin. I think one of them got onto my pant and wet itself.
Yeah, no vermin in here either, for sure. I get you.
Our time was very uneventful at the camp.
Yeah, certainly nothing unusual.
So I again take my wood walking staff. I tap your brand. I go, "Ooh, that's new."
Oh no, that's always been there. Do not worry about that.
It is very, very geometric and angular, and I look at you, Kiva, but I say nothing.
And I just look at you.
I think it was always meant to be there.
Exciting, isn't it?
It is. I couldn't help but notice Talia keeps staring.
She can't see, Kel. Don't be rude.
She can see.
I throw a rock at her, like just a little one at her head.
Touch it.
She sees.
I have to say, I had no idea what Talia was capable of. It was quite a show.
Oh, well, what did
quite a show.
she do?
There's this little Marcus boy, and he tried to trap us with King's Guard, and I stepped back, and she just this display of incredible power. We found nothing when we were split up. I want to confirm that you found nothing, because remember, anything we find, we are splitting.
Mm-hmm.
So
I threw all the.
Well, I thought it was when we find it together.
No. Mm-hmm. This is why we
never...
write things down. This is why we have contracts. The devil's in the details. Did you pick up anything? Is there anything on your person that was not on your person when we came into the mangroves?
Oh no, I threw
you. No,
it's not a bother.
Yeah, I picked up nothing before we entered the mangrove with you.
The real treasure lies in the cathedral.
It better.
Anything out here is only child's play.
I would like to suggest that the argument about shares and treasure and obligations, financial or otherwise, lasts longer than you originally anticipated. And the sun is now relatively low in the sky. And because the tree cover is so thick, it actually gets dark quite rapidly. Might as well make camp here. Indeed, I would like to know who's on first watch.
I will be on first watch.
Fantastic. Kel, do you sleep?
I don't think Kel sleeps. Kel has a little hook on his back and points out to his friends and says, "Bear bag me. I'll keep an eye out from the sky."
So they put you in a tree, or what's
Yeah,
that?
they hang me from. They kind of throw me over a limb, and I kind of dangle there.
And I jump at the opportunity to do this. Like this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. As soon as you point out your hook, I go, "Oh, allow me." Lift you up like a baby and hang you on a tree.
Fantastic.
This is perfect. Now I will dry out. Look into these green shadows. This is wonderful.
Kiva, you're on first watch.
Mhm.
And Kel apparently can see far as needed. Kel, you will notice something you didn't see before that you can see now in silhouette. A little bit of light behind it. It's a little hill, and there appear to be two people sitting on it, very still. Are they watching you? Maybe. Are they even aware of you? Who knows? I don't think Kiva sees it, though, Kel. You can only see it from your vantage point. What do you do? You can certainly tell Kiva, but...
I don't think I tell anyone. I've got some skill in mimicry. And I think what this looks like is I start making different bird calls to try to see if they turn or if they react.
Yeah. I don't need a roll here. I'll just tell you that you can do that, and they're perfectly still. They don't move. They don't budge an inch.
Kiva,
Yes, Kel.
you got a rock for that hill? We got some looky-loos.
No, I do not. But do they look like they bring danger?
It's the bog. You're either here to create danger or to rob those that would create danger for you. There's no one else.
All right, I suppose I can get closer and check it out.
You know, I would, but I'm up in the tree.
I can get you down from the tree.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I don't want you to strain yourself.
Kiva, as you approach, I assume you're doing so in a surreptitious manner.
I would like to do ether.
What does that do?
So, a touch creature or object becomes spectral and intangible.
Oh, nice. Okay, so you can do that for yourself then.
Yes.
I don't need you to roll it. It's you have plenty of time to prepare the ritual, so you can do it. What does that look like, though?
So, in this, it's It's a little bit strange, and it's a good thing only Kel is there to see it. But it's a dancing ritual, one that you learned growing up. It's a lot of spinning, a lot of circles, some chanting, shaking of the entire body until it fully takes effect.
And so then you're just a sort of like a shade or like
A
a
sh-
like a
More of a shade.
yeah, like or like
Yeah.
translucent, like is that what we or shadowy, I guess.
More so shadowy.
Got it.
Yeah.
Does
You
the
can
chant have a call and response that all of a sudden Kel finds himself doing?
I would say as you see her do it and singing, something tickles probably in the back of your head and you can hum along with it
I like it.
if that's okay.
Oh, absolutely.
you can approach no trouble and they won't
Okay.
see you. And indeed, as you get closer, you realize they're never going to see you. Because atop this hill, atop a flat rock, are two desiccated corpses sitting across from each other. The rotted remains of a picnic lunch laid out between them. Each has a hand placed in the other's mouth, which is filled with a fistful of loamy soil. Make a ruin roll for now.
Oh. Okay. Okay.
A 6.
Oh.
Your ruin is now at 5.
Oh.
What is it about this
Frightening.
scene that's so disturbing to you?
So, as you all know, I live amongst the vermin. There is something uncanny about this with a desecrated corpse. They're showing as if it's a last supper.
Mm.
It's unsettling in ways of why, how humans have a natural response to survive. This is not this. This is something else. This is something she couldn't even fathom.
Between the snake that is inviting you to go find your quarry in the land of the dead, between this revelation, you are on the threshold of just giving in and succumbing. Whatever
Mhm.
trauma you had thought you shook off from the cult is back. Whatever life you think you've managed to make for yourself is slipping away. You are now entitled to do the reduction roll. You can, whenever you wish, do something to betray the group.
Okay.
Whenever you do that, your ruin gets lowered by 1, and then you will roll a die to see if the group notices your betrayal. So think on it. You have that.
Okay.
You have that weapon in your quiver.
Okay.
I would like to suggest at this point that Orlin, you wake up. Kel is up in the tree. We don't know where Kiva is. But the reason why you woke up is because Talia is making noises in her sleep. Indeed, you can see Talia's mouth opening and closing. There's something going on there. What do you do?
I'm gonna kind of crawl over. I reach over for my walking staff and Talia.
You can see now that Talia's tongue is particularly plump and pink and rising up out of her mouth and waving back and forth. And you can see that Talia's tongue has sprouted 2 little antennae. And the tongue is now stretching out, reaching for something. And then Talia's tongue has a little mouth of its own. And it begins to sing a small song to the stars as it reaches. Please make a ruin roll.
Two to my roll of 3.
So your ruin doesn't go up, but I am curious what you think right now.
Don't know Talia that well. So I don't know if this is like it's 2:00, time for the tongue to wake up, or if something is happening to Talia. So I think that I'm trying to very politely, or start politely, just trying to wake her up and nudge her, and trying to do what I can to stay out of line of sight of bug tongue.
Let's go one step further.
Oh God.
I mentioned earlier that you've been exhaling little green spores. And we'll notice in the low light, as these spores float down toward Talia, that the slug tongue is trying to catch the spores. Indeed, it seems to be feeding on the spores that are floating down from your mouth. And it stretches even further. It stretches even further. And it opens its little tiny circular sucker mouth. And it makes cooing noises like it wants more, please.
I'm going to take a huge inhale and get close and go and feed it.
What a beautiful communion between the two of you.
Do I see that from the tree?
I don't think so. I think it's just the two of them for now.
It's on my OnlyFans, though, if you want.
It's like top tier price.
But Talia, unbeknownst to you, as your tongue receives this gift, it affects your dreams.
Oh God!
You start to dream of the mire. You start to dream of the fen. What is it like?
It's uncomfortably between being reassuring and terrifying. Something so familiar is now turned against her.
What is it about the dream that makes you think your god might be false?
In the dream, the overwhelming feeling is of being hollow and empty. And every step I take down this path, the green leeches away as like a shock of blackness and shadow bursts from every step I take, sinking into the ground and taking it over with this rot and poison.
Make a ruin roll.
Okay. 6.
Oh.
Your ruin now goes up to 4.
Mhm.
Intriguing. We'll come back to this. Indeed, we'll fast forward. The remainder of the watch passes without any trouble whatsoever. Uneventful. And let's just have the scene with all of you breaking camp the next morning.
All right, someone get me down.
Yes. So I pick you up like Simba, and I put you back down on the ground. And Talia,
Instead of twirling and dancing and constantly moving like I normally am, I am stone still, seated on the ground. And that song that I've been humming since we've entered is, I would have to say that Kiva would probably recognize it as the song she was singing last night.
and I want to do this without Kellen and Kiva hearing it. Talia,
Yes.
are you hungry?
Maybe.
Here, and I've made something very small. I've got a very small little like cast iron pan that I've been cooking by the fire and making something, and I bring it over. It's a starchy like mush, and I go, here, and I'm gonna take a little spoon that I keep on my person, and I'm going to feed you. I need to see your fucking tongue. So here, this is very good.
I'm gonna just back away from you, as you should know. I'm not. I decided that I'm not.
Smell it first. Smell it first.
No, I'm okay. Thank you.
Kiva, does he have a Coke spoon?
I don't know what that is.
Not talking to you, Wood Boy. You said you're hungry, dear.
I'm not anymore.
What are you? Leave her alone.
Thank you.
Oh no, I think he should feed her. This is fun.
It's
Cozy
not.
almost.
It's not fun. This is the opposite of fun.
Oh.
I
Kiva,
won't push the issue.
Pull out a book, take some notes, put it away.
Kiva,
How was everyone?
I was going to say, Kiva, I owe you a condition as well.
Yeah.
From your ruin going up. And I'm going to tell you that you now believe, because you can see, that all 3 of your companions are being consumed by maggots. When they talk, you see little white flecks spilling out of their mouths. You can see holes when they talk as their jaws have been chewed through. Even poor Kel is being feasted upon by these voracious insects. How does that make you feel?
2 folds. 1, the earth needs to feed itself. Every creature. 2, it's probably one of the most disgusting things I have seen in a while. That's just constantly happening.
Let's continue. You press deeper into the mire, into the bog. And as you do so, the insects are getting really thick. Swarms of insects. eventually, or initially, it starts as just an occasional flying cockroach that hits your armor, or a dragonfly that smacks up against your cheek, or the wriggle of a centipede caught between your leg and your boot. But as you continue on, it gets thicker and thicker. What started as a little splat of a bug on your cheek becomes a pop, 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 pop,
Oh, God.
as several hit you. It's starting to get so thick that they can't even maneuver around you. They're just hitting you pop, 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 on your armor. You can feel them wriggling up the legs of your trousers. You can feel them all over you. The swarm is descending upon you from behind, so you can't even turn back. And eventually, the swarm is so thick, the masses of centipedes and flying roaches and dragonflies are so thick that you lose sight of each other. You get separated. You stumble into the bog. You trip over brambles. At one point, Orlin, you trip over a tree root and your face just lands inside a cluster of writhing bugs that break up and smooth over your face like a glistening mask of chitin. Kel, they're so thick on you, and because you don't instinctively brush them off, you look bigger. You're a larger, moving mass of insects now. Talia, at some point, your tongue just started hanging open. Your mouth hanging open, your tongue rolling out, greeting the insect chorus with a song of its own. But the others can't see that. You're all separated. Kiva, how are you feeling right now, she of the vermin?
Uncomfortable. It's too many in one place. Not as disturbed as the rest of the team, but extremely uncomfortable. Mostly because as she moves, they die because they're smacking into her.
Well, you all have a problem. You are separated, and the bug swarm is not getting any thinner. It's so bad you can't even really, those of you who see normally can't even really see anymore. You're just hands out, bugs flying through your hands, smacking against your face as you try to make your way through. You each have to tell me how you're going to try to navigate this.
I would like to fall to my hands and knees and stake my staff in front of me, my walking stick in front of me, and I'm going to attempt to summon the frog eggs. I want them to hatch, and I want the frogs to get here and to feast and clear this situation.
I love it.
So I'm going to try to do my summon ritual.
This might work for everybody, actually.
Yeah, I want to summon a known creature to me.
Because these were big frogs, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I love it. Take us through the risk roll, please.
All right. So let's walk through it step by step. So when attempting a risky task, declare what you hope will happen and ask the GM and other players what could go wrong. What I hope will happen is that I will hatch these large amphibian frogs, that they are not too far behind us at this point, and an army of insect-eating frogs will come and clear this situation from us. So that is what I'm hoping, and I want to know if any other players or the GM have any thoughts on what could go wrong.
You trade
No.
one plague for another.
Don't differentiate between you and your targets.
Nothing
Very
changes.
big frogs.
They weren't actually frog eggs.
Oh,
Well, those are all great ideas.
okay.
Keep
So-
going, Orlin.
Yes, I'm going to take one light die because I have rituals as a skill. This is a ritual I'm doing, so I will also take a dark die. I will tell you that for all of your sakes, you should give me very easy to accept devil's bargains because I'm rescuing everybody right now. I'm just putting that out there, but I would like to hear my devil's bargains.
I'm going to say no matter what, Marcus turns back up, and it won't be pleasant.
No matter what, you channel the frog spirits and your hands become webbed.
Okay. No matter what, you're gonna have the bugs surrounding you,
Oh, like it's just a cloud.
just at all times. Yeah.
One of the giant frogs forms an unhealthy attachment to you and follows you around everywhere.
That's it right there. Sold.
Frog
Sold.
Giant frog companion.
I will bond to a giant frog in a way that I probably will regret. So I will take your devil's bargain, Talia, and I will pick up a second light die. That's 2 light, 1 dark.
6 light. Go ahead and describe how you defeat the swarm.
I think the 3 of you each are having your own battles, your own situations, those of you without singing tongues. And you just hear the just an army of go ahead, Kiva.
How can I interfere with this ritual?
Great
my
question. You certainly can. Did everybody okay.
No, it's just Dika. She'll be
I think
back
it's
in a
just
second.
Dika.
Okay.
We'll be
All
back
right.
in a second.
Give Dika a moment. Right at a dramatic moment.
Oh, that's perfect timing, Dika. Can we talk about this mechanic that she's invoking?
Yeah, so the reduction roll, basically, whenever you betray the group in some way, you get to lower your ruin, and then I kind of determine what it means mechanically, like when the betrayal happens. So
So while we're waiting for Dika, there was a question in the chat. What's the frog friend's name?
I don't know if I have one yet. I eventually will have one, but it won't be Kermit. I can tell you that. It won't be. All right. Well, let's give her a half second. Usually she comes right back. Here she comes. There we go. All right.
to
We
answer your
lost
question,
you at, yes, thank you.
Yeah, to answer your question, Kiva, yes, you can do something to interfere. I just need to know what you're going to do. Like, how do you try to what do you do?
So
Like once you realize what's happening. Yeah.
I want to I would like to I might not be able to actually, because I'm thinking, because I have vermin and rituals as a skill, I want to somehow break his connection.
Yeah, I know. I think it works. I mean, I'm
that?
into it. So all you have to do is just tell me how you're doing it, and then you'll do a reduction roll,
Okay.
and that will be to see essentially if it gets noticed by the other group, like particularly if Orlin realizes you're interfering, right? So how do you try to interfere with the magic once you realize what's happening?
I am going, and let me know if this is too meta-ish. I want to have the vermin attacking the eggs.
Oh, cutting off the source.
Yes.
That's really interesting, actually. I like that a lot. Go ahead and make your reduction roll. Let's see if
Okay.
anyone is aware of what you're doing.
Oh, come on. Powers that be. Son of a bit.
What is she looking for here?
So basically, as long as you roll under your current ruin,
Oh.
your betrayal goes unnoticed. So you do decrease your ruin by 1, so it's now 4. And I think to kind of mechanically reflect this, especially since you've already rolled, Craig, I think what I'll do is I'll have you roll an extra dark die to see if you get a 6 dark, which would increase your ruin.
Got it. All right. So I'm going to roll a dark die by itself.
Yeah.
A mere 5.
Okay. I'm going to suggest this. The swarm is not the frogs, because the swarm was attacking the eggs. It's not enough to save everyone. So there's that lingering fallout as well. The frogs are not enough to defeat the whole swarm. It's enough to save you and one other companion of your choice. Orlin, your choice.
Oh, one of my choice. I thought it was going to be
No, your choice.
Kiva's choice. Oh my goodness. It will save me. It won't be Talia because that slug thing is a problem. I find Kel the least intimidating and the least threatening. So I think it's going to save me and Kel.
Kel, give me some of the fiction. What does it look like when the frogs come to the rescue?
So you said that the bugs had made Kel bigger. And
Your mass is more.
the frogs are just another pile on that at first. And then they clear away. And around Kel's mouth, he had been trying to call out and they kept climbing in, and he would just chew and try again. So there's just like bug guts just spread around like SpongeBob after eating like a chocolate dessert.
The buffet is open.
What do you like this?
So Kiva's busy communing with the insects, which I think offers a certain degree of protection. Kel is saved by the frogs. Orlin is saved by the frogs. Talia, you are not. Wherever you got separated from, you are still fully in danger with the swarm. And indeed, your tongue, which you are now aware has a certain degree of sentience, it wants to go deeper into the swarm. How do you resist this? What do you do?
So I have a cool little skill called surrender. And I almost feel like this is an intervention, like it is something calling to me, something speaking to me, and this is what it wants. And I am going to surrender to that desire to follow it deeper.
And there, okay, good. So there's so this is not a danger at all. In fact,
No.
it's something
Right.
intriguing. Guide us through the risk roll, please.
Okay. Let me find all my things again. Okay, and to declare what you hope will happen. I basically hope that it will almost see me as associated with Kiva, who is touching into it, and I have reached that same sort of magic that runs through Kiva as well. And it will recognize that and allow me to exist, basically.
Intriguing.
You're not fighting against it.
I'm
That's
not
so
fighting
cool.
against it.
Oh, that's so cool.
I'm going to say what happens is if you fail, you have grossly misunderstood what's going on here. And your tongue is offering the rest of you as a sacrifice to the swarm.
I can get that.
I think what could go wrong here if you fail is you pick up not one, but 2, possibly 3 tattoos off of Kiva.
I think
I
wrong. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Kiva.
no. You go.
I think if this goes wrong, the interference that Kiva attempted, we didn't detect that, but Orland could tell there was a will against him, and he thinks it's you because of your act.
Oh, it misunderstands what's going on. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, that's intriguing. That could be a good devil's bargain too, actually.
Yeah. I second all of y'all's. Yeah.
Second it. Yeah, I will. I will.
Let's get dice on the
accept
table.
devil's bargains. Yeah. Oh, let's see. A light dive. My background occupation.
Do
You have the skill,
anything?
right? Surrender. Yeah.
Skill
Right.
surrender. Yeah. Yeah. So I'll take one for that. Then for
Have to
accepting.
Well,
I will
think
listen to devil's bargains.
You've
for
got
sure.
to definitely have a dark die. Like
Mhm.
this is not safe. You're not
There's
safe.
no
No.
getting out of that.
No,
yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Definitely
Do you want to hear
risking
devil's
mind.
bargains?
Yes, I do.
You'll never be able to get the bug taste out of your mouth.
Hmm.
I can wait.
No, go ahead.
If you fail, this snail tries.
It's regardless. Just real quick. I'm sorry. It's regardless of what happens.
Oh, okay. Ooh. I'll wait. Yeah.
Yeah. Regardless of what happens. Go ahead, Jason.
No matter what, you discover that your nature deity is actually a demon. Totally false.
I will accept that devil's bargain. I like it.
I don't even get one.
No.
Okay.
I'm in. This is it. This is the one I'm
That's
sold.
That is the one.
Sorry.
2 light, 1 dark. Let's see what you got.
Okay. Got to 5 light.
I'm going to give you the complication of obviously you're going to discover that your god is false, that your god is a demon, and you succeed in surviving the swarm, but you are going to be separated from the group for a time as you go on your unfortunate spirit journey.
Vision quest, yeah.
Yes. Now, if you don't want to be separated from the group, you can add a dark die to the pool and roll all of them again and try for a 6.
I think I'm going to give into it. I think I'm going to be separated for a little while.
That makes sense to me.
Me too.
We'll come back to this in a bit then. Everyone else, you eventually make your way out of the swarm. There are frogs everywhere of various sizes.
Ugh.
I'm curious about the one, well, for next time, Craig, think about the one that is attached to your character. But we're going to end with this, with the 3 of you who are still together. You arrive at the first paved thing you've seen in days. Deep in the forest are ruins of the ancient Kalduri people, the people who used to live in this land and have been gone for many centuries. Indeed, the people who first began worship of the sisters. You find yourself in what is now, it appears to be just a stone walkway with bits of bog grass poking through the stone cobbles. But you can tell that it used to be some sort of structure, some kind of, maybe like a church or some kind of hall. You can see just little bits of low stone wall that have been worn down over time. But what has not been worn down over time, all along this path, on either side, are representations of the sisters. But they're ancient representations. They're not beautifully detailed rendered statues. They are more, they're more abstract, right? And overhead, there is an arch of insects.
God damn.
They hover overhead, creating a sort of buzzing celestial chorus over this space. As the three of you enter into this space, tell me about the sister that either you grew up with, or that you are loyal to now, or that you just have some kind of truck with. Who is she? What is she the sister of? What's her domain? And what do you leave at her statue?
I don't pick it out immediately, but I do find the sister of lost children. And my nanny worshipped that sister specifically. And the only maternal love I have ever felt. And as twisted as the sisterhood is, I identify and seek that one out.
What do you leave there? What offering?
I take off a piece of jewelry, one of the very few pieces of actual crown jewels that I own. It's a bracelet. And I'm now as far in as I'm as far into the middle as I can to the outside. And if I don't make it out, this is worthless to me now. And I take a very valuable bracelet off my wrist and I just put it around the statue.
The insectile chorus sings loudly in pleasure. Kel, tell me about the statue that draws your eye.
There's a sister that's known as the Sister of Entropy. And for one of debris as myself, it is the one that guides my actions. It's the one I identify with, though it's the one I fear. I walk up to it. I take my little segmented wooden fingers. I break the joint on my first finger of my left hand, put the finger down, and put it on the offering tray. I say a prayer, and the prayer I want to say isn't the one that comes out. It's more related to the Kiva's cult, and I'm very unhappy with that. But I walk away because I know that there's no more good to be done there.
I love the idea of it's a language you don't speak.
Oh my God.
You just like say this prayer in a language you don't speak. Kiva, which of the sisters are you drawn to?
Oh, this is very fascinating. Looking at the statues, I am drawn to the Sister of Life.
And what do you leave her?
She is going to leave her blood.
This grand arch of thousands of little angels overhead buzzes in celestial joy. Talia, you're having a different experience. You were walking to the threshold of a copse of very tightly wound and packed trees. So tightly packed that the sun does not penetrate them, and the opening is perfectly dark. Your tongue is practically ripping out at the root to try to get into this space. And as you walk closer, you can hear what's waiting for you in there. So passes ring 2.
Oh, God. All right, we're going to go to credits. We come back from credits. We're going to do thoughts, stars, and wishes. We'll be right back.
Attention, brave viewers. This video features adults immersed in a spine-chilling horror RPG experience. The content likely includes supernatural elements.
So we're back. I messed up the overlay and I put the intro as the credits. So we listed all of the patrons and all of our sponsors, and we thanked Jason. We said you could go to Drive-Thru RPG and buy Trophy Dark. So just imagine all of that happened with some really cool music, and now we're back. So Jason, I don't know whether you're aware or not, but we have stolen thoughts and stars and wishes from the Gauntlet, which is where I first heard of it. And the only thing we've added to it is thoughts, stars, and wishes. And thoughts is an opportunity for the players to talk about what do they think of the game as a system, what do they think about it not as character but as player, and then stars and wishes.
Sounds good.
But the floor is yours, sir.
Oh, well, I'm excited to hear all that.
All right. Well, who would you like to hear from
I know what I think of the game.
Where do you think someone would buy it?
Yeah, but I will say that, if people are watching this, they've never heard of Trophy Dark. Sadly, it's no longer, it's not easy to find in physical form anymore. It's very sold out. But you can certainly still get a digital copy on Drive-Thru RPG. There are some physical copies out in the world. I just think they're really hard to get a hold of.
Yeah, it took me a while.
We've got a plan to reprint them at some point. It just hasn't, especially now. It's very like that situation. That calculus has gotten really complicated.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. There's the Trophy Dark book. There's also a companion game that's called Trophy Gold, and then there's a book that is shared between them called Trophy Loom, which has it's a sort of setting book. It's my favorite of the three. And we also have this collection of character creation cards, which come in this beautiful box, these 5 deck of cards that let you create your character by drawing cards from the decks. And the cards have really beautiful illustrations, 400 unique illustrations, and lots of little like narrative prompts on them. They're really, really great. Not necessary, but a great accessory as well. So yeah, you can get Gold, Loom, and the cards are still available, though Gold is in really, really short supply. Dark is still a little tough to get a hold of, but it's all on Drive-Thru as well. So, but no, yeah, Trophy, great game. I've lived with it for years. We published the original version of Trophy, Trophy Dark, which was back then just called Trophy, back in 2018 in our magazine called Codex, and it was written by Jesse Ross. And Jesse, basically, the pitch to me was, I want to play Symbaroum, but with a better rule set. And so, a rule set that I can kind of jive with more. And I was like, yeah, that sounds good. I love Symbaroum, but I agree. Let's do something. And so he was a big fan of Cthulhu Dark by Graham Walmsley. And so we kind of made this game that sort of took Cthulhu Dark and kind of changed it for this different setting and kind of tweaked the rules a bit. And then we kind of like supported it for a couple of years. And then we took it to Kickstarter and kickstarted it 1 month before the pandemic, so that was great. And then, but eventually got the books out. They're beautiful, and I love Trophy. It's been for the last 7 years now. It's a game that's been really close to my heart. This was a great session. I've run the Flockland Cathedral many times. It's always fun, and I thought you all did a really great job. Stars all around. I particularly like how you all just grabbed onto your character concept like really quickly and just went for it. There was no there was no hesitation. It was like, okay, this is what my person does, so I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna lean into it. And so much of this game is like kind of incorporating the things that people say, and so I was really having a lot of fun like taking the things that you were all saying and trying to incorporate it back into the story. So that's always really good fun for me. But yeah, just great time all around. My only wish, honestly, I don't know. I think if I had any wish at all, it's I don't know. I just hope we get to like kind of follow up on a couple of these little story threads that we've laid out. I hope they go somewhere. And I'm really excited to see if more betrayal is going to happen. Kiva is entitled to keep doing that. Actually, you can't because you're starting runes 4.
can't.
Yeah, you're starting runes 4, so you're done. But if anybody else gets to 5, you can kind of betray down to your starting ruin. So that's when the game gets really juicy. And I hope we get to do a contest roll. Contest rolls when you roll against each other, and it's really fun. So I hope we get to see that as well. Yeah.
Who do you want to hear from next, Jason?
Oh, whoever wants to speak, go for it.
I'll go.
No preference.
So thoughts are, I struggled with this and Cthulhu Dark, and it's not because it's hard, right? You read both Cthulhu Dark and Trophy Dark, and mechanically it's very, very simple. Butter Princess, also another game that has the core mechanic. It was so important for me to see it in play. And what I picked up, Jason, which just made it all click in my head, like I'm excited to run it on the channel now, is the ritualistic nature that you impose on top of it. That's the key for me. That makes it all make sense to me and makes everything just kind of happen. So thank you for making that very clear. And this is another game in a long list of games I've talked about on the channel and on the podcast, of games you cannot read and understand what's happening. You have to play it. And you have more courage than I had, which is just start running it, right? Stop overthinking it like I have been and just start running it. Stars for me, I'm going to give out 2 stars. One for you, Jason. There's several things that you do really, really well as a GM. It's why I've been a fan of your work for a very long time. The big thing that I love about the way you run a game is you take your time and you are very safe not saying anything, even when we're all waiting for the next words to come out of your mouth. And GMs, that is so hard to do. It's so hard to shut the hell up. And Jason, you do a very, very good job of it. And it creates just an atmosphere that's fantastic. My second star is very similar to Jason's, which is unsurprisingly, like every one of my fellow people at this table just rolled within you don't realize this. When we went live, we had been sitting with our characters for about 15 minutes. We had rolled them immediately, but we find little hooks, we listen to each other, and we just go. My wish is we have given Jason way too much kindling, and he's going to start a fire very soon. And I wish to see what that fire is with all these little nuggets and things that we've given. How about for you, Lizzie? Thoughts, stars, and wishes?
Oh man, thoughts. I always struggle with horror games. And I'm always a little intimidated to play them because I'm not a horror person. But it seems like every time that I sit down at a horror table here, it is excellent. Oh man, this has been really great. Not a game that I probably would have picked up on my own. So really fantastic to kind of be like, you're going to look at this because you're going to like it. And I do. So great. Oh man, my stars. I'm going to give it to Dika this time. The vermin and the way it just kind of took over the session. You planted that seed and everybody picked it up and made it bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And I love that. Good start of the chain there. And then my wishes, man, I cannot wait to see everybody getting pushed higher in their ruin and forcing them into making decisions against the rest of the group. That's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, those are for me.
Nathan.
So thoughts, you mentioned the thing about the rituals, and it reminded me of actually playing, what's the Tim Dennehy survival island one?
Deathmatch Island.
Yeah, Deathmatch Island.
Yeah, using the Agon system. Yeah.
Cadence ritual thing.
Yes.
And in a way that you really do build off of it. I really like that. I love how by asking everyone what can go wrong, you get so much more, even if you don't take those ideas, it builds that atmosphere in a really great way.
That's a great call out, Nathan, real quick. That's a great call out because that's exactly what I figured out about Agon as well, right? Is that figured out how important it is to set the atmosphere of the game by going meta and making a ritual of the dice pool. Totally. I never even made the connection. It's a great connection.
Stars, Lizzie's kind of detached vessel of a person, and then Jason taking that and doing the thing with the tongue has just been horrific in all the best ways. The idea of the feeding was just one of those things that I don't think Kel was going to recover from if they had seen it. So I'm glad that I'm glad that Kel couldn't see that. Wishes. I'm fascinated by the idea that Talia's learning that her god is false.
Phenomenal.
As a vessel, that's such a dichotomy that I think is going to really play out interestingly.
Mystica.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So, yay. This was actually quite amazing. Before I actually came today, I was going to like maybe watch an actual play, and I was like, oh no, I'll just be surprised, see what happens. So happy I did that. So extremely happy I did that. This is right up my alley. It's horrifying. I think I'll just share this. I have a irrational fear of slugs.
Mm-hmm.
By the way,
Didn't put that on your little lines of veils, did you now?
nope. And I was like, oh, cool. So the whole feeding scene, I wanted to jump out of my window. So that was great. Overall, I think this system, like this isn't necessarily something I could personally run myself.
Mhm.
But Jason, you're an amazing storyteller. I'm like, oh, I would keep playing this in an absolute heartbeat. Like I am in every second, every moment of the way. But kudos, amazing. I purchased it. Love that for me. But no, that it was very different than what I'm used to, and I really enjoyed that. And I also played Brindlewood Bay, so it had some reminiscing feelings of that too. And I was like, love it.
Yeah, they're kind of in conversation with each other a little bit, right? Yeah.
Just a little bit, yeah.
Inevitably, there. So
Yes.
yeah.
Fan of that one too.
Yes, both great. Stars, I'm gonna give it to the Craig feeding scene just because I had like a lot more before that happened as well. And that's just gonna live with me forever.
You
In
can't
my
see
mind,
the
that
person.
scene was so gross and like,
So gross.
but also kind of profound in a way. Like, it was like it had an intimacy that was like really.
It's like I can't look away from
It
this.
was compelling
disgust.
and repulsive at the same
It was
time.
really perverted.
Yeah.
It was like, okay.
It was like German porn.
Yeah, so good, so good.
I was like, oh, there's tragedy that's happening. I can't literally look away. So great job with that.
Thank you. You know what's funny
Gosh.
what you're saying here, Dika, and it just clicked with me. So Jason, twice a year I have a group that meets here in North Carolina for a week of camping. It's called Camping for Gamers, and you bring a tent, and the only thing you have to do is play as many games as you want to play. This is a phenomenal Camping for Gamers thing, right? Because it's just like, who wants to play? Everybody sit down. Within 15 minutes, we are playing a role-playing game, and we're deep into it. So this is coming to camping in the fall, and I will definitely run it. Yeah, I will definitely run it for that. So things coming up for tomorrow. We are live streaming. We are doing the Crawling Chaos by Mike Hutchinson. Phenomenal. 4 GMs, 1 player. Really invoking a Lovecraftian tale with truly just one narrator, not a group of investigators. And then after that, we'll be back here a week from today. So you've got to see what the next rings bring us. Jason, can't thank you enough. Lizzie, Dika, Nathan, love you. Mean it. See you very soon.
Thanks, Nathan.
Howdy, friends. Thank you for watching. All our content is archived and organized in playlists on the Third Floor Wars YouTube channel. Check it out.
And if you could like, follow, subscribe, and even set your notifications to this channel on YouTube and Twitch, we'd appreciate it, and it'll make sure that you catch all of our content. I talk with creators, designers, and experts across the gaming landscape in every episode of our podcast, Tabletop Talk. Open up your favorite podcatcher and search for Tabletop Talk from Third Floor Wars. Support your creators. They make the content you love, and it's your support that makes it happen. If you want to help us, go to Third Floor Wars on patreon.com, and you can help us for as little as $1 a month. Thanks again. We'll see you next time. Take care.